Good morning and welcome back to another Thursday special of Miniature Monday here on Gaming with ADHD. Today we are continuing our look at the Battletech miniatures from Catalyst Game Lab, specifically taking a look at the Inner Sphere Urban Lands. Now, as you all know from previous videos, we are looking at not just the miniatures themselves and what you get in the box, but we are also comparing it to the technical readout series and the art that has appeared over the last 30 plus years. So we can actually look at how the mech has evolved from when it first showed up to the miniature that we have today. So before we get started, do make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We are going to keep doing more Battletech content once the miniatures have all been reviewed. And so I'd love for you to come along and see what I have to offer. If you do like what I'm doing here, don't forget to like the video and put a comment down below. Which of these four mechs is your favorite? And, did I get anything wrong? Things like that. So, with that said, let's take a look at this set. All right, so with the Urban Lance, we are getting the Victor, the Enforcer, the Hunchback, and the Raven. Now, all of these except for the Raven made their first appearance in Tech Readout 3025, whereas the Raven showed up in Tech Readout 3050. So, before we go on, let's take a quick look at the included cards. There are 2 cards included for each of the mechs, and the cards do include the pilot's name, a little bit of a gunnery and piloting value, and a little bit of background so you know who the pilot is. So, to start off, we have a House Lau Raven and a House Merrick Raven, a House Davian Enforcer, and a House Steiner Enforcer, a Mercenary Hunchback, very bright red, and a House Steiner Hunchback, a Davian Victor, and a Lau Victor. Now, in addition to the cards for the pilots, we also receive these 4 Alpha Strike cards. Alpha Strike is the sort of mass battle version. Basically, it has simplified stats for all of the mechs to basically make it so you can play with large numbers of mechs on the table. You do receive a double-sided card for each mech, so you do have 2 different versions that you can put on the table, and, if that is your preferred method of play. All right, so as I bump my table around, let's get into looking at the mechs themselves. All right. There we go. All right, to start off with, we are going to look at the 80-ton Victor in its first appearance here in Tech Readout 3025. Now, the Victor is, again, one of those with a very unique head. I'm going to call it the armor plate coming down over the neck. Very distinctive. I do remember looking at this piece of art many times as a kid. The right arm cannon being very prominent, and then the SRM-4 in the shoulder. Obviously, it's got more weapons than that, but those are the ones that stand out and are pretty obvious. The rounded portions on the lower legs still make an appearance in the new miniature, so that's good. And obviously it's got the jump jets that you can see here in the back on the miniature as well. All right, so we started with 3025, and then we get this version in 3050. So, not as exciting a pose, but a little bit better of a piece of art. The torso alone looks better. This one, I don't know what they're doing, but it looks very blocky and just, I don't know, something seems off. But a little bit better. The legs seem a little strange, but not bad. But this is 3050. We then have the 3050 upgrade. And finally, Ill Clan. So this is the figure that was used as the basis for the miniature. You can see that front viewport that still has been maintained, the armor coming down towards the front. The arm cannon is a bit more massive than we saw in previous versions, and it feels like it's a little shorter, a little stockier. But let's be honest, it's an 80-ton mech, so it is an assault class, so it's supposed to look like it's gonna take some hits, even if this thing can jump around the battlefield. So that is our 80-ton Victor. Coming up next, we have the Enforcer at 50 tons. Now, this one, kind of interesting because the legs to me look very dainty, very, very slender, and they actually maintain that. And I think they maintained it while also making it look more armored and more durable at the same time. So that's an interesting design choice. The posing, I think, is a little better on the miniature, but for the original art, it kind of looks like it's yelling at you. This is 3050. Now this one just seems a little odd, a little out of place. Not quite sure what's happening with the legs. There's next to no toes on this mech, and the head seems vastly oversized compared to the rest of the mech. So not the best piece of art. Moving into 3050 upgrade. So we had Elemental here in the background making an appearance. But then we've also got, again, keeping kind of these slender legs, but it looks a little better proportion. The head is not quite as big and, for lack of a better way to put it, out of place. They do have the antenna, although this seems a lot more exaggerated than it probably should be. And then we have the Ill Clan version. Now, I like how they did this. They have the antenna there, although it doesn't look like it made it onto the miniature. Overall, kind of looks the same. I'd say it looks sort of like a football playing dwarf. Little short, little stocky, but the metal pieces across the face of the cockpit. Sorry about that. Just trying to get you a little bit better of a look. Definitely, are a bit pronounced, sort of like a football helmet, screen. So, overall, I like this one. This is a good design, and it's just a nice, solid, Battletech miniature. So that is the Enforcer. All right, next up is the classic Hunchback. Now this is the inner sphere version of the Hunchback, and definitely is not taking care of his arms at the gym. I'm just pointing that out because I always remember from this original piece of art in 3025 just how skinny the arms were. They've clearly upped that in the new version. But if you look at the original legs, the styling here on the shins, the arms, the cockpit, and then the AC-20 riding on the right shoulder, they absolutely, keep that moving forward. This is the 3050 version. So has a little bit more Robbie the Robot feel to it. The arms are still a little slender, although bulking up a little bit. Probably doing a couple of push-ups or, lifting some lightweight barbells at the gym. And then we get this one in 3050. Now his arms look a lot more in proportion to what they should be. But even still, the design has pretty much stayed the same, over the years. So they put this same mech styling in multiple tech readouts. So I do like that. It definitely keeps that feel, across the years. But then we get this version in the Clan era. Now, this one, I gotta say, I think they knocked it out of the park. The miniature does have this sensor located on the head. The way that they did the AC-20, I think it's a better design. I like the way that it's armored. The mech itself, clearly it has been hitting the gym and just picking up and putting down big heavy things with its arms. So they've definitely bulked that out. It looks a lot more proportional, and I really do appreciate that. Those tiny little arms just threw off the look of the mech. Even though it's coming in at 50 tons, it just had an odd look with those skinny arms, and I think this particular piece of art absolutely nails it. I would have to say this is definitely my favorite piece out of this entire set. So even still, you do have the legs. Legs are keeping that styling. They very much maintained this style over the years. And I think the different artists that approach it all did it very well. So to the point we get the Clan and, to me, just knocking it out of the park for this mech. So there we go. That's the Hunchback. And then our only entry from Tech Readout 3050. Finally, we have the Raven making its appearance here. So this is the original piece of art, and it looks like a bird. I think, I don't know why, but I have always kind of liked the design just because it's like, all right, it's a raven. We're going to make it look like a bird, and it's going to walk like a chicken. And, so everything kind of, comes together. And so it looks like it is a, flightless bird that is just going, it's going to move around the battlefield. I was going to say that it's going to wreck your face, but let's be honest. It's 35 tons. It's not going to do much wrecking, but the whole point to this is it is a scout mech. It's supposed to get it out there, use its sensors, and actually start marking other targets for mechs that are farther back on the battlefield. So I think they did really well. Even with this original piece of art, this one, I really don't have any complaints. The perspectives all look right. The weapons don't look out of place. They look like they're just the right size. Everything is pretty solid. We get this out of 3050 upgrade. This was 30... I forget which one this one was. 3039. And then we got this one out of Clan. So overall, they didn't change much. The body looks a little different. The cockpit is not, canted down as much as you would see with or on the original one or with a Raven's beak. But overall, they're still keeping the art style. They're keeping the design choices, and it looks really good. I really like how they did this one. there's the miniature itself seems a little odd. The body itself seems kind of squished, so a little bit flatter than it probably should be. But regardless, I like it. I'm gonna have a lot of fun getting this one painted up. Maybe not as much as the Hunchback, but I definitely want to get this one painted up for display as well. So there we go. That is the Inner Sphere Urban Lance. Let me know down below, what did you think? What did you like best? I'd love to get your feedback. Also, don't forget, there will be a link in the description to Drive-Thru RPG. It is an affiliate link, but me personally, I've lately been purchasing all of my Battletech books in PDF from them. And if you do that as well, I wouldn't mind if you'd use that affiliate link, because it does give me a little bit of kickback so that I can get more products for review. So thank you for watching. I do appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.